many millions of people. More people watch YouTube than watch, tons of TV. It's ridiculous, the numbers, billions and billions of views each month, and we are looking down at this concept when we should be really, really. We need to pay super close attention to this, because Obama is giving these guys access. He's giving them a way to participate in the political process. And what are we doing? We're writing snide articles about how unprofessional it is for Obama to be, taking, whatever, degrading the office of the presidency because he's talking to average Americans. And that's what we need to get down to, is that these people are famous because of how democratized the media has become. These guys would not have had a chance if they didn't have this awesome tool of YouTube to put out their content that they made themselves individually, and have it be good and have their good content be shared. And we want to say, oh, in a move that his critics will say further proves he's mailing it in at this point, President Obama has agreed to do interviews with 3 YouTube personalities. The stuff and I won't even tell you about the comments because they're just awful. But we need to pay serious attention to this, and we need to realize that we can't just ignore the culture. We can't ignore this, and we can't look down on it. We need to be out there and giving access, just like the president is.
Can we talk a little bit about our anti-elitism in this regard? That perhaps that there is an elitist attitude in some of the conservative movement that would put forth the position there that these are not avenues that are worthy for political discussion, or that the president is being how do you say it, less, saying that it just marginalizing the whole concept because the president is being less serious. The number of people who watched, say, Michelle Obama on Jimmy Fallon, and we talked about that not too long ago, in the clip where she goes on his little skit show, the number of people that saw that are probably a lot fewer than the number of people who are going to see through these 3 YouTube channels the interview with the president. The people who are gaining access through this have such large audiences, and they're not overlapping in a lot of cases, that they're going to be able to read. This is a brilliant move by the administration in terms of exploiting the culture. And if we can sneer at it, we can say, oh, that's not serious. And meanwhile, the president is getting his message out to a bunch of people. So the way that I look at it is, of course, we have to do better. We have to do better in getting our message out, and this is one of the avenues in which we need to improve. Obviously, we have to do better culturally. This is a cultural opportunity. But what I think we see is that people on the right, they think politics is one thing, and entertainment is another, and never the twain shall meet. And it's bothersome to me in a way, because we don't support people like Remy, Remy with Reason and the videos he makes. We don't see a lot of support for Julie Borowski and the videos that she does, which are so cute. The one she did on the Sriracha, they put it on their website, where she was protesting what California was trying to do to drive these people out of California. She did a hilarious video like that, and it's relatable and it's good, but we don't get to spend enough of our effort boosting those people so they can become more influential and have these opportunities. As we run up to 2016, I definitely am going to be looking and seeing which candidates are engaging in new areas like this.
Well, quick question here. And Borowski and Remy are brilliant. They are brilliant, especially she is, because she is so consistently brilliant, and so is he. We have a problem, though, don't we? Because I totally agree with what I'm hearing here. Anything that gets out information to people is an avenue for communication. I don't see one as better than another. In fact, like you said, if it's an avenue that reaches, without a lot of crossover, that's reaching new veins, that's even more valuable, right? And because they don't just hear it all the time. Here's my concern, because I'd love to have Republican or Tea Party, whatever, leaders interacting in these venues, but while we have a far deeper bench, we have far more impressive line of candidates coming up and so forth, we don't have candidates who I think would interact in an entertaining fashion, an enjoyable fashion in these venues. In other words, I think they'd fall flat on their face and it wouldn't work. Do we need candidates who can do that better? And I don't think that's just younger. I know young ones who are stiff as can be and old ones who are a lot more fun. Do you see what I'm saying here?
I do, but I think that now's the time to practice that, don't you?
Yeah. Maybe if they could practice that in venues like this that are safer. I don't know.
Ripping the Band-Aid off faster, I think, is preferable in this case. And just the mere fact that, oh my goodness, a Republican is actually asking to come on my show, to come on my channel and talk with me? Really? A Republican? I think that, by and large, while the slant is to the left on YouTube, I think that a lot of these people aren't, have not made up their minds. I think that there are plenty of these people who haven't thought so much about politics, but guess where they're going to be thinking after they get asked to interview the president? Guess where they think the progressive and hip and awesome and great, and they want to hear my opinion. They want to know what I am thinking about, what is important to me and my constituents, and that's how this is being billed. Is that the people, their subscribers, they want questions to come from their subscribers so that they can ask the president from their subscriber base, these questions. So on a multi-layer thing, it's important for us to not only have some conservative YouTubers out there and participate in YouTube in that way, but also to participate by watching YouTube and having, be a part of those subscriber bases so that you can see these things. I don't know how many other people knew about this, and how many people even know or care what YouTube is, besides a thing where they get to watch cats do silly things. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Quick question for you, because you guys are more or less experts in YouTube. You really are. I'm not. All right? And you are. Wouldn't it be a valuable thing for you to create a presentation for GOP lawmakers that several examples of YouTube of things that are highly watched, or things that examples of of maybe Obama going on, and here's what was effective and here isn't, and be able to show them, this is, not only do you need to go on YouTube, but let me give you a quick, and this is only 30 minutes long, I'm going to walk you through, as a consultant, how to do well on there and how to succeed, more readily. I mean, when I tell people, to go, and I always use my line, when I tell people to go to these younger audiences, I always say, look, when you say, I want to control my own life, not yours, the next vein I always say is, and here's why. Because I'm excited about your potential. But I'm also excited about the potential of that guy over there and this girl over there. I don't want your potential to overrun theirs. I want everybody free to fly as high as they can. I'm excited about you. Okay, when you talk in that kind of language, doesn't matter that I'm 51 years old. I sound 21. I sound like a human being. But if I come to them and start reeling off my legislation that I'm trying to move through on water rights in this canyon, do you see what I mean?
I don't think. See, that's the thing, is that I don't think that you're going to get that. I think that by asking to be a participant in somebody's YouTube channel and in content that they're making, I think that implicitly you are agreeing to playing along to with what they're doing. And I think that there's going to be some back and forth. I think there's going to be some talk there. With Obama, there's this built-in he's the president factor, and that impacts this a lot. The bully pulpit sort of thing. Fishy?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Andy's saying in this way. If we go in our arguments, whether it's on a presidential candidate on YouTube or it's one-on-one, if we start in our arguments with the charts and the graphs and the stats and the things like that, we're already behind because we're not selling, we're lecturing. And we talked last week about the importance of selling, and this is what the president is doing. He might not be selling his ideas. He is certainly selling his credibility to a group of people, and that is equally important, if not more important, than the ideas that come with that. The president doesn't need to get people to understand the intricacies of whether or not to approve Keystone. The president needs, in this appearance, what the president needs to achieve is people's admiration, trust, likability, that sort of thing. That's what he's going for. We have a deficit of attention on those elements on our side, and that is why I think getting into the other ideas, other than just selling your message, being a person, showing that you're relatable. You know what worked really well after the 2012 election? I think this happened the year after. Is slow jam the news with Romney? That went over really well culturally for Romney, and people thought, well, he's not such a stiff shirt, or a stuffed shirt or a stiff neck guy. He could be funny. He could be self-deprecating and funny. People didn't know that about him, and he took that opportunity to do that. Now, that's about a year and a half too late, apparently, but our candidates need to be in practice with those things now.
Well, here's the thing, in my opinion, I totally agree. Okay, here's the thing, in my opinion. We have a huge advantage because everything the president's talking about, he's becoming less and less marketable because everything he just talked about tonight already came up on the ballot in November by his own design. He said, all my policies are on the ballot, and they got crushed. So when you have the president on, be it on YouTube or anything else, you're having a guy on whose none of his plans are ever going to happen anymore going forward. He's done. Well, for the most part. But the Republicans have this exciting young bench that's going to compete for the presidential nomination, any of whom could win. And one of them, their ideas very well might be implemented into law. And so if once again, if you guys were to design like a half-hour thing that just took away the fear factor and gave them an idea, here's what you'll face, here's the advantage of it, here's the fun of it, and here's a great way to approach it. Couldn't that be really helpful? I mean, wouldn't that, take away the fear and get them in there?
I would love to do that. The one thing I would say, too, is shame on all those conservative consultants who actually get paid to do that stuff for not doing it.
Hold up there, Fishy. Hold up. Remember who we're talking about here. Republicans are people, too. We don't want them on YouTube. We don't want the consultants on YouTube.
I think you're right. I think I take it back.
Yeah, thank you.
No, wait. That brings up something though that I was going to have Leslie intro, but if she's on, she could jump in here. There was an article about how does the GOP fight a populist tax the rich proposal, which is probably something that did come up at the State of the Union. People who listened can verify that for me. But it was by Jazz Shaw, and it was at Hot Air, and one of the interesting quotes that I found, and people need to take this in, I'm putting all kinds of markers around it. Absorb this, go think about it, and then go think about it some more. He says, let's get one thing out of the way up front. This dog and pony show, and he's talking about the giveaway culture, the sweepstakes, presidency, the college, free college, and things like that.